Welcome to my YouTube video focusing on the element of art, line. This is an intermediate lesson. You'll need paper and pencil. Let's have some fun. Hi, this is Laura Houston, and I'm about to do a quick drawing lesson that focuses on the art element line. Now, I've done a beginner's lesson, and this will be intermediate, maybe geared towards first grade, second grade, third grade, but by all means you can choose later on if you want beginning, intermediate, or advanced. So we're focusing on the element of art, line. So I'm just going to start by showing you these three shapes: a square, a triangle, and a circle. Now, everything in art can be made of these three basic shapes, and these basic shapes are made of lines. Obviously, the four lines here are connected for the square, the triangle has the three, and the circle is made of a curved line. So let's make a picture out of a square, or it could also be a rectangle in the picture, triangle and circle. So I'm just going to start. How about we make a house? So let me start with the basic structure of the house. Could be a square. Like that. I'm going to connect these lines together. We're using lines. And obviously, let's put a roof on there. Let's see. I'm going to make a triangle for the roof. Again, all with lines coming together. And I'm going to use a rectangle for the door. And maybe we'll use a circle for the knob and another rectangle with right here for maybe the window on the door. How about circles up here for windows? And we can do some lines here. So again, we're focusing on lines. It's a very simple drawing with lines. And what are we missing? Maybe a chimney? Now, a chimney is going to be formed from a rectangle, sort of. And then it will just meet the roof here down the side. But here, let's add some detail to the chimney with maybe a line going across to make bricks. And we're just making the bricks out of lines. And we can stagger the vertical line so it looks like bricks. Here too, okay. And why don't we use some curving lines to represent smoke coming out of the top of the chimney. You can use curvy lines for that. Again, we're focusing on line. How about, your house is going to look like it's floating unless you use some lines here to represent like the horizon or the grass or the hill that it's sitting on. Why don't we do a curved line here for a pathway coming out from the door? Okay, again, lines. Now let's add a little more detail with some shading, and we can shade with lines as well. We talked about that in the screencast that we watched. So I'm going to just use lines again on the roof here. And at first you're going to think, oh my gosh, what is she doing? But let's do some cross hatching here to shade this. And if we made the lines closer together or overlapped them more, we would make the roof even darker. And I feel like the front of the house looks too plain, so I'm going to use little plus signs. I don't know if you can see that, but we'll put some little plus signs, and these lines add a little element of texture, a little element of interest. It makes the drawing more interesting. There we go. And I think I'm going to darken these lines around the door. You can make some of your lines heavy. You can make the lines fine. Remember, a dull pencil is my pencil's kind of dull. It works well. for drawing lines. Okay, ooh, why don't we put a moon, a full moon in the sky up here using a circle. Again, we're using the square and rectangles. I can add rectangle here too. And triangles and circles here. And, you know, later on, if we wanted to add more detail, you know, you could add, you know, some plants around the house, some trees, you know, but we're mostly focusing on line. And if you wanted to practice drawing anything else, I suggest looking at what you have inside your house. Because I know we're all indoors these days, but you know, we're staying safe. How about, let's see, I'm going to just draw a line here. Moving on to something different. What if you were to draw a basic table, okay? If you wanted to draw a basic table, and I'm not going to make this 3D. I'll save those for some future lessons. But here, again, I'm using a rectangle and for the tabletop, and then we can add some legs. And all of this is, these drawings are done with just basic lines. And remember, we looked at Matisse. Remember the woman in the purple robe and there was that vase? Why don't we put a vase on this table? Just add a vase, and maybe we can decorate this vase. Again, I'm just using basic lines here. Okay, so we have our vase, and Matisse had lines like this all over the vase, didn't he? Do you remember that? You can go back and rewatch that slideshow. He had lines for interest. I think there was something like this on the vase, more lines. And, you know, in your own time, you can add flowers. I'm going to draw a vase kind of like Matisse. He had some flowers coming out of this. Again, it's just with basic lines. And, you know, I really just want you to think about, you know, lines are so basic, but they can really add a lot to your drawing. So I want you to think about, you know, the next time you look at a painting or a drawing, notice how the lines are used, and think about, you can add texture with lines or, you know, shading with lines. So try some more drawings on your own. Look and see what's around you. Sometimes it's best to just draw what you see. Thank you. If you want to learn more, click on the link in the description below the video. As always, I'd love to see your art, and I might feature it in one of my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching!